Okay, our bell work is review from the previous lesson. So what we want to do is try to find the GCF. So when you look at that first term, it's got a 1 in front. So a GCF could be a number or a letter or both. If it's got a 1, you could pull out the 1, but if you divide everything by 1, it doesn't really change anything. You're going to notice that all three of them have R's. So when it comes to letters, if they all have the letter, you take out the lowest exponent and you put that in the front. And then the stuff that is in the parentheses is what's left once you divide the problem by the GCF. So if I pull an R out of each term, that's what I get. Second problem, it's got a 1 in front and then the 2, so we're not really going to mess with the numbers. We're just going to take a look at the letters. Both terms have x's. The lowest exponent on the x is squared, so we'll take out an x squared. And then both of them have y's, and again the lowest exponent is a y squared. So we pull out an x squared and a y squared and throw it in front, and then we reduce each term by 2 x's and 2 y's. So we basically use division, and that's what our answer is. Okay, so what we're going to get into in this lesson is how to factor by grouping. Factoring by grouping is a method only intended for polynomials that have 4 terms on them, and basically it comes down to finding some GCFs. So that's why we had to teach you how to find the GCF in that first lesson. So if you notice in the problem, we have a problem here that has 4 terms. So we've got the 4 terms here, and so what we're going to do with that is we're going to figure out where the middle is, because we have to split the middle. And basically what happens is you're going to end up with parentheses around the first 2 terms and then parentheses around the last 2 terms, but we're not going to put parentheses around this sign right here. This sign right here is every problem that has 4 terms is going to have 3 signs in it, so the sign in the middle is the dead center of your problem. So that's how you can determine where the parentheses need to go. Once we break up our problem into the 2 sets of parentheses, we basically treat each one like a GCF problem. So this one has a GCF of 3x, and this one has a GCF of 3x, so we put the 3x in front, and then we put what we get once we divide the 3x out in the parentheses. Second set of parentheses has a GCF of just 2, so we divide out the 2 and we put that in front, and then we're left with 2x plus 5. Now the big thing to note is these matching 2x plus 5s. I try to color code them on purpose. If you're doing this right, at this step, you're going to end up with matching parentheses. Now, by definition, if they both have it, that's a common term. So it's a common factor. So what we could do with a common factor, like we did with the 3x and the 2 earlier, we can take it out and write it in the front once, and that explains where this came from. So these two 2x plus 5s are turning into one 2x plus 5, and then the original GCFs that we pulled out, they end up creating the second set of parentheses. And then that's basically going to give you the problem that should multiply to give us this original problem. Now, I know I went through that kind of quick, so I've got a few examples that I'm going to do with you. So we're going to get into it. Let me go ahead and change the pen so it's a little thinner. So the first step, we're going to try to break this down. If I can get this to stop scrolling. We're going to break this up into our 2 sets of parentheses. Now, in the first set of parentheses, you're always at least going to take out a letter, and in the second set, you're always going to take out just a number. So in the first set, it looks like the GCF between 8 and 12. If you do that in your calculator using that GCF stuff I showed you in the first lesson, you can take out the 4, and you're also going to be able to take out an x. So that means that you're going to have 2x left and a minus 3. And I have my plus sign from up above. The second set of parentheses looks like we're going to be able to take out a 2. So a 2 comes out in front, and then you're going to have 2x minus 3. Now at this step, you can see that we're on the right track because we've got the matching parentheses. Those 2 parentheses turn into one set of parentheses out here, so 2x minus 3. And then the second set of parentheses come from these 2 GCFs right here. So we're going to have another parentheses with 4x plus 2. That's our answer. So if I show you that one more time, so under the you try it problem, we're going to split up the problem using 2 sets of parentheses. First set, we're going to take out a GCF of x squared. So the x squared goes in front, and then you're going to be left with x plus 2. Now one thing to notice is this already says x plus 2, so if I don't want to change it, I just take out a GCF of 1. So now I have my matching parentheses. So my matching parentheses, they're going to turn into one set. So one's going to say x plus 2, and then the other set is going to be created by these two GCFs. So we'll have x squared plus 1. And people always ask, does the order matter? No, because 2 times 3 is going to give you the same answer as 3 times 2. It works with these binomials as well, so that's our answer. As long as one parentheses has an x plus 2 and the other one has an x squared plus 1, it doesn't matter which one comes first. Okay, now for the special one. This one right here has a big star on it, well, a big ugly star, because you're going to notice right here in red, we've got a minus sign. Minus signs always mess things up. So when we put our parentheses, we are going to have to make an adjustment because the problem is no longer the same. The adjustment is going to happen in the second set of parentheses, right in this spot right here. No matter what this sign is, you need to change it to the opposite. If it's a plus, change it to a minus. If it's a minus, change it to a plus. The reason why is because that negative that was in the middle right here, if I distribute this, it's going to give me negative x plus 6 now. If I didn't adjust that sign, it would give me a minus 6, and the problem doesn't have a minus 6 there. So I have to make that adjustment. Now this only happens when that minus ends up in the middle. So all the other problems we did so far, they have plus signs in the middle, so we didn't have to worry about it. So when you have that minus sign, be sure that you always go and change the parentheses to the right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take out the GCF of the first set. It looks like we can take out a 4 and a y. So I'm going to pull out 4 and a y from each one. It goes in the front. And then we're going to be left with x minus 6. Now that in that parentheses, we already have an x minus 6. So I'm going to put a 1 in front and then an x minus 6 right here. I've got the two matching x minus 6's. So I'm going to put x minus 6 in one parentheses. And then I'm going to use these two GCFs to create the second parentheses. So I'm going to have 4y minus 1. Then that's my answer. Okay, so on the next page, I've got a few problems that we can practice. I'm actually going to have you practice, so you can pause the video, and then I will sort of reveal the work and the final answer. So for problem 1, if you pause now and unpause when you're ready, here's the answer. Problem number 2, go ahead and give it a pause and then unpause when you're ready. Here's the answer. Problem number 3, pause and unpause when you're ready. And then problem number 4, give it a pause and then unpause when you're ready. Problem number 5, unpause when you're ready. And then problem number 6, unpause when you're ready. Now you need to get really good at this because we are going to do complex ABC problems in the next lesson. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to take a problem that has 3 parts to it and convert it so it has 4, and then we're going to do exactly what we did here. So you want to make sure that you have very strong factor by grouping skills. But that's all there is to factor by grouping, so now you can practice on the homework assignment.